Andrew, we have made it to another week on the Alpha Dad Show. How you doing, sir?
We have done it. I'm doing great. I'm pumped up for this one here.
I'm super excited. I've actually seen this guy several times on Instagram for a while, and then in preparation for the show, I did some deep dives, and I was just super excited. I'm like, man, this is one of those ones that like, if you could like just go on like a private conversation with this person, if you could go just get away, I'd be like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. But this guy's been in the fitness industry for an absolutely long time. I'm not sure. Like, there's a popular term, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, but there's like life coaches, and they pop up all over the place, and you see them. They're like 25 years old. They've not done a lot with their life, but they're like life coaches. Suddenly, they're all over Instagram and stuff. This guy though, this is like the kind of guy though that like you'd want to actually be a life coach, because you're like, man, you've like been there, done that, you've seen this, you've gone here, you've accomplished a lot. His mindset, and he's a fitness coach, and I'm just super excited to bring him on today. Please welcome to the Alpha Dad Show, Mr. Jeff Davis. Woo!
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you for coming on the show, dude.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
We got a lot of good questions to get into. Some, got the surface, got some deeper, got some snorkels, got some scuba dives. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm just gonna hop right into the meat and potatoes. I don't want to kind of fluff around it or anything like that. Meat and potatoes. The biggest reason I wanted you on here is I got to figure out, how do you create and maintain such a glorious looking beard? That's one of my biggest questions here.
It's beautiful. Look at that thing.
It is glorious, man.
Yeah. Okay, so this is genetics, and I don't know where from, because my biological dad, and I say biological dad because I do not see him that often. I've met him maybe like 5 times. He doesn't have one. I don't know. I started growing facial hair at like 4 years old, and then like ever since then, continuing to grow.
Full beard, toddler running around.
I had a goatee in high school, and then God, looking back now, I'm like, what the fuck was that thing? But yeah, no, it's just genetically, I'm genetically gifted that way. And I put a little oil and a little cream in it every once in a while, get it trimmed up, and here we are.
Get her all trimmed up, man. It's a glorious beard though, man. Every time I see it, I'm like, dang, that guy's, it's like that perfect beard.
Glorious beard though, it does produce some ingrown hairs behind it the pain of it is just like sometimes unbearable.
Hey, no pain, no gain, right?
That's right.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm super excited to have you on the show. You've been in the fitness industry now for over a decade. Is that correct?
Yep. So 2013 is when I got in. Yep. So 11 years.
That's awesome.
11 years.
You've seen all kinds of different trends go in that time frame. You've seen like I don't know, like eat all carbs, eat no carbs, eat this. Don't ever touch these things. We only eat eggs. You never eat eggs. You've seen kind of all of it.
I've seen it all, and honestly, it's very unfortunate, but it's gotten a lot worse. It's gotten a lot, especially unfortunately, this last really 4 years has gotten the worst. Just like, don't eat bread, or like you pretty much can only eat fucking kale these days. I mean, that's what people tell you, and it's really unfortunate. But as long as the people that find a community such as like mine, and like they just stick with the real raw truth, and they just keep doing exactly what I keep telling them, or the people that are like the real coaches out there, the more that they keep giving into what it is that they're telling them, then they need to do that. But if there's a lot of people that are living in scarcity mode, I've met people to this day. I just met a gal just this last week. We were at a surprise birthday party, and she's like, I don't eat carbs at all. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I feel like shit, but I don't eat carbs.
Where's your energy? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's like, I feel like shit all day long. I'm like, you should just eat carbs. And we're at the party. I'm like, you see all those potatoes over there? Like, you should go have a plate of potatoes.
like you need this.
Like, go get some energy in you.
Yeah. I could go on and on about that shit. But
yeah.
There's a lot of shit out there that people follow. And my thing is just eat protein, carbs, and fats. Like, and just eat how you have to, and whatever your goals are. If you want to, get your body to where you want it. We got to cut the fat. We got to reverse diet you, and then we just do that the rest of your life. You got to cut, reverse, and you do that the rest of your life.
It's so good. And inside of that, like, there's like a Jeff Davis mentality. Like, if clients are working with you, there's this mentality. And like I said before, like I mean this in like the least insulty way possible, because sometimes you hear like life coach and you're like, oh, that's these little punk beta boys on Instagram or something. That's not you, but you have this like fitness mentality, but also this mindset mentality that you come in, you attack it. A lot of people know what they like. They know they shouldn't be eating the donut, but they do it anyway. And so everything I've seen from you like attacks more. Why are you eating the donut before you tell them not to eat the donut? What are the biggest key things you have people commit? You talk about commit or die or commit or quit. What are some of the biggest things you have people committing to when they work with Jeff Davis? Like the Jeff Davis fit method here. What's the biggest thing you have them commit to?
Honestly, I want them to commit to themselves. And what I mean by that is like just there's too many people pleasing motherfuckers on this planet. You guys you guys that are listening, you give everyone else everything before you give yourself anything. And it's really unfortunate because there's a lot of you and a lot of people that wake up on a daily basis that are very unhappy. They're unhappy with what they see in the mirror. They're not confident walking into a room. They have no sex life. They don't know how to court their women. They don't know how to court their children. Yes, I say court their children. Like, you should be taking your daughters out on dates. You should 100%. Be taking out on man adventures. You can call them man dates, man adventures, whatever the fuck. But commit to yourself. So give everything back to yourself so that you can give everything back to the world. That's exactly my motto in life. Is like give everything to yourself so you can give everything back to the world. And some people are like, well, that's selfish. No, it's fucking selfless, to be honest. That's what it is. Not selfish. It's selfish not to take care of yourself.
True.
It's selfish.
Yeah.
It's selfish not to eat right. Now, okay, let's just be honest. Are people going to have donuts when they're in good shape? Of course they are. But don't take that many back steps on a daily basis. Instead of having fucking 5 days a week, if you want to have a donut, great, because you've taken 85 forward steps in the beginning of the week. Yeah, that one back step's not gonna hurt you as bad.
Right.
But you are taking a back step. You truly are. Even with alcohol,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Drink alcohol on a program. Do you like taking back steps? That's completely up to you. Now, someone asks, well, do I drink? I do, but not very often. I maybe have a couple a month. But I've also, in a month, I take several hundred forward steps in my life.
Yeah.
So, but I'm to the point right now, you guys, I'm on the verge of giving up alcohol because I just realized it serves literally no purpose in my life. It costs money and it's poison.
This isn't sponsored by these guys, but I got this data tracker thing. Like I'm all about tracking. I got all this kind of stuff, but this is the Whoop. I'm not no sponsorship, no affiliation with them at all. I got to honestly, because
I know exactly what you're going to go into right now, and I'm glad you are.
Yeah, I work my face off like that. That's the reason I got it. Like I will work really, really hard, and I won't even notice that like, oh, I'm not feeling great today because I just kind of like feelings are pushed aside. And I think it's good to have that ability. It's a superpower to be able to put things aside. But it tells you every day like how prepared are you to take on activity for the day? Are you operating at 100%? Are you operating at 17%? And for me, I didn't realize like I would have alcohol probably 3 or 4 days a week, something like that. And I got this 2 years ago, or a little over a year ago. And every time I'd have alcohol, I would drop down to like 17% of my capacity that I was prepared to take on the day. No matter how great a sleep I got, no matter how much I was exercising or whatever. Like if I just drank one glass of alcohol, it was not like a drunk kind of thing. It was not even like nobody would know that I was not operating at 100%. But like I was like, man, I'm consistently at 17% the day after I'd have alcohol. And so you have to be super aware of it. I mean, you're literally drinking poison. And if you're just going around like it's gonna be totally fine, you're literally, it's has a major effect on you for sure, on your decision making, on your speed for sure.
Everything. I mean, and you are 100% right. If anyone that tracks their sleep after they have alcohol, if you don't, I would encourage you to do so. It is so bad of what alcohol does to your body, like when it comes to your sleep. And now I don't get a ton of sleep. To be honest, I just don't get a lot of sleep, but that's just me. That's how I function, like sometimes I get 3 hours of sleep. Some nights it's 5, some nights it's 6, sometimes it's 4, but I just operate. But the thing is that I don't give a fuck about my feelings when it comes to my life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even give in to my feelings. I'm all about what's my mission today? Like, this is my mission. Okay. Regardless if I got 3 hours of sleep, I have a mission and I have to complete it. So.
I love that.
Got to get it done. That's great. Yeah, and in one of your posts online, you said all you parents say you die for your kids, but are you willing to get healthy for them or willing to live for them? And I think a lot of people, like myself included, like I didn't know that I was unhealthy because I wasn't overweight. At no point was I ever like obese or anything like that. But when I started to work out and when I started to track my macros, my carbs, my fats, my protein every single day, I saw a huge like increase in my productivity and my alertness and my effectiveness after work, when I get home, I actually still have energy to play with the kids and to hang out with my wife. And like, there's more energy there. And I think a lot of people don't know what they don't know, and they feel like they're in good shape. They feel like, well, I'm not overweight or I'm not like unhealthy. They have that like feeling of just, I'm fine, but they don't see that upside that we get to experience when we start tracking, when we start like actually working out and getting in shape. So what would you say are a few benefits for, like on the dad side of things? What are a few benefits of getting healthy and getting into shape?
So I love that you said that. And I love that you said that your productivity is better and like you're just better. But here's the thing is that when you track one meal, that's a win. Me waking up early is a win. Praying in the morning is a win. All those are wins. And if you tracking 4 to 6 meals a day, you got 6 wins in for your food. You're exactly right. And at the end of the day, when you have all of your numbers in and you can see like my numbers for the day, it is euphoric. It is a euphoric feeling. You're like, holy shit, I'm actually moving the needle forward. There's so many people out there that don't track data in their life, but they'll fucking go track data at work to collect a goddamn paycheck.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the integrity in that, but they will not track data on how did I do this week? How, did I track all my food? Did I hit my numbers? And regardless of whatever the scale does, you can manage that along the way. But just knowing like how many calories you put in your body versus how many were expended. Okay, where's my physique at?
Right.
Oh, I lost 2 pounds this week, and I can see veins in my forearms. Sweet, that's awesome. Here's the other benefit to that: is your children are watching every fucking move you make. Every bit of protein, carbs, and fats that you're putting in your mouth, they're watching and Now, some guys might see this, or some dads might say, like, I don't like weighing my fucking food. Okay, do you like being fucking fat, or do you like being, do you like not fitting in your clothes? There's a lot.
It's so true.
Yeah, right. Tracking your food, it's really not that sexy. All the things that I do on a daily basis are really unsexy. But here's the thing. I feel good. I'm happy. I know how to show up as a dad, but so those actions that you're doing when it comes to your food, you're just mirroring off of your kids, and it's just about portion. And the world we live in right now is just like you grab food and you shove it in your fucking mouth. And like the food is so horrendous over here compared to like Australia or European countries. It's horrible. So having your family and your children just watch you do this, it's just like, okay, cool. I'm gonna control my eating. There's so many benefits.
I went to a ministry school for a while, and it was like very internationally present ministry school. There was probably, there's like 2,000 kids in the class with me, and I think probably like 10% of them were like from Norway. Like it was like a shocking number of people, and so it was a very internationally based school. I remember talking to these kids regularly, and they'd be like, yeah, I cannot believe the food you guys have here. Like high fructose corn syrup, where I come from, is an illegal ingredient. You cannot have high fructose corn. Like literally, it's illegal. Like they showed me a bag of Skittles, and they're like, 7 of these things are illegal in our country. You cannot have them. And it was just a normal bag of Skittles. I'm like, oh my goodness. They're like they're at the grocery store, and they're like, it's terrifying. Like for us, these are like literally banned substances as we're walking through the grocery store. Like they're like, it's the equivalent of you walking through a grocery store, and they're like, here's this drug, and here's this drug, and here's this awful thing that you should never consume.
Like you could buy this here. Yeah, that's you're 100% correct. 100%.
Yeah, they've definitely not made it easy for us, for sure.
No, and not only that is like, here's the thing: a lot of this baby food that they make. Like my wife and her cousin, this is super weird, but they got this app and you can like scan food and it legitimately says like if this food is good for you. Like we have this cereal here that we started to feed our child, and it literally says on this kid's cereal that it is not good. And because it contains metals. You literally, we saw
aluminum is super common.
They poured this this baby food in a plastic bag. And they had, the metal, like the little metal plates that can pick up like metal beads.
Yeah.
They put this metal on this plastic fucking bag, and this bag lifted up off the goddamn table. Yeah. So that's how horrible food is over here for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's not like you have to eat clean all day. You can still enjoy some frozen yogurt for kids or whatever. But at least 80% of your day, at least have wholesome, like nutritious foods. And then the other 20% of the day, fill in the gaps where you need to,
I think it's even important on where you get your food. Like my wife started, she you just kind of go to the grocery store because that's what you do, right? You get on the people mover of what the world tells you to do. You move through like cows. Just, this is what we're told to do. And my wife started like looking for local farmers, and she was like, I want to get real milk. I don't want like the skimmed down versions. Like I want like real milk for our kids, and I want this. And so she ended up finding this farmer, but like you can't sell this kind of stuff at normal grocery stores. So she meets him at a parking lot, like literally like Lowe's parking lot at a 7 o'clock on a Friday. Like it's crazy, dude. And
a drug deal.
Milk.
It is.
That's right.
Milk. And we started out meeting with this guy, and it was like 5 of us, and it was like at nighttime, we're like, hey, you got the goods, like we're getting good food, like groceries, and we get tons of stuff from this guy. We get yogurt and cheese, and he gives our meat. We bought a whole cow from him last year. We get like all this kind of stuff, and he's a great guy. And now it's packed, and this guy had to add on like 8 more stops just in my small city, and he's like an hour from us, but he had to add on all this stuff because I think people are like, they're recognizing like you're not getting the food that you need. You're not getting nutrients. We're dying of lack of nutrients more than we are dying of like too much food. It's less even the amount of food. It's more the nutrients that are inside of it, and people just aren't getting those nutrients in for sure.
Oh yeah, and people are like, oh yeah, I don't eat that much in a day. I eat a couple meals a day. It's like, yeah, but you're eating all processed shit, and like nothing is nutrient dense about what it is that you're eating.
Totally.
Caloric deficit, and like, yeah, you're in a caloric deficit of garbage is what you are. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Check your foods, man.
It's good stuff. One of my favorite things I've seen on Instagram in a while was a post you made about a month ago about your son. He'd fibbed about 3 different times, and you're like, all right, consequence for fibbing 3 times is you now get 300 burpees. I thought that's a great consequence. I think that's super. I think it's important for parenting to have intelligent consequences. Like a lot of parents are like, I'm gonna take your phone away. I'm gonna take this away. I'm gonna take this away. You're like, no, guess what we get to do today? Feel the weight of our consequences. But what I loved about this post, and I'll give you plenty of time to comment on it, but what you were talking about, you didn't just like sit there and watch him do it. You're like, hey, part of this was my fault. Like I didn't give the space for you to feel emotionally safe to come to me and to be honest with me. And so you had to do this. So you did the 300 burpees alongside him. And as the consequence for you, you got to do that as well. And I thought that was a really interesting thing. In our culture today, there's a massive push for alpha dads to be beta dads. And they're trying to push this. Like I think forcing your kid to do 300 burpees by some people today would be considered a child protective services violation. Like they'd be like, no, you can't force your kids to do this. That's awful. How could you do this to your kids? But you created a almost violent, a physically strong consequence and an emotionally safe place. Talk about that tension of like creating an emotionally safe place where you have a son that's able to come to you, that's able to like he's safer the closer that he comes to you on the emotional side. But on the physical side, you're like, hey, and physically we're going to be strong, and physically, we're going to do this. That tension of as a man, I think the society's pushing men to be emotionally weak and not physically strong. And I think what you're showing there was really powerful. Talk about that tension there.
So so my son's 14 now, and he lives in North Dakota, and I just see, we have scheduled visits that we do. He comes here for 2 months in the summer, and then I get him for a few weeks during the year. So even the 14 years that I've had him, I've only seen him probably 13% of the year. This is how it's just been. But as I was raising him, or helping, I should say, help his mom raise him, to be honest. You know, she lived far away from us, or over an hour and a half. So honestly, I give her a lot of props for what she's done for our son. Like, he's not a fucking asshole. He's not a bully. You know, he's got a very kind heart. And honestly, that's been taught by his mom. So I give her a lot of props for that. But when I would have him, and when I would punish him, man, I was a fucking asshole. I was so angry all the time. And honestly, it was just the anger that I had inside of my heart. And I'm always just like, why'd you do this? Or, you know, just like being that fucking hard ass. And that shit does not work at all. And so what I've done now, and even in that space of doing burpees with him, I think was awesome. But I had a conversation with one of my other buddies. You guys might know him, Superhuman Fathers, Kyle Carnegie. Carnegie. Yep. I even asked him, I'm like, was this the right thing to do? And he's like, yeah, I mean, yes, it could. It was, you know, but he's like, we as dads could even go deeper. And what I mean by that is just like, we have to love our sons. And we have to talk to them differently. You know, we have to have deeper conversations. Like, there's a reason why he didn't feel safe to tell me the truth. And I want to create a space that's loving, that's open, that's tender, and I say this as a man, but the thing is that when he grows up and he gets into a relationship and there's shit going wrong, men don't want to open up. Men don't want to tell you how they feel. Men don't want to cry. And it's okay to do that. When you are feeling a certain way because of your actions, or you've done something, like, it's okay to break down yourself emotionally, because in order to fix what it is that you just done, so that you don't fucking do it again over and over and get yourself up into jail like I did, or making stupid decisions and giving into your desires all the time. So, but also I wanted to do it from the side when we had this conversation, because I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna go through this pain with you, because this is the consequences of what I've done with you, you know. And I know I didn't create a safe space for him growing up, you know, and ever since then, I know that day, I know those 300 burpees, I know he'll never fucking forget it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, true. He might not text me or call me, and he might just be like, my dad is a fucking asshole. But he'll, like, randomly, you know, he'll text me, and I don't ever expect my son to call me, text me, or whatever. Sometimes I don't even expect a response back, because he's a 14-year-old fucking kid. Right. You know, I just don't expect it. But now that I've created this space, he texts me, he calls me, he's like, hey dad, I miss you. And I love hearing that shit. Like, yeah, I love seeing that stuff come into my phone. So I just want to create a space. And I think that everyone that's watching this is like, you need to create a space for your son's life, even your daughter's life, whatever it is that you have, that's open and tender. There's no need to get mad. Like, honestly, getting mad, like, now you guys seen my commit or quit video with one of my clients. There's a difference between that. You know, as kids develop, you need to have hard, difficult conversations. Obviously, there's gonna be consequences for shit, but you know, you can talk. You don't have to scream in their face. You can just be like, "Why were you a fucking idiot? Like, why did you do that?" You know, and explain to them, like, it's okay. I've been a fucking idiot before too. I've made stupid fucking decisions. Here's what we do now. Yep. And we provide an action plan of how they move forward, instead of just sit in the space of poor me, I'm a victim. No, totally. Let's have an action plan. Let's move forward. Forget it. Move on, and let's keep creating the man or daughter that you were put here to be.
That's right. Love it. Yeah, no, and I think a lot of parents, they almost see their kids sometimes, especially dads, especially busy dads, whether it's work or the gym or whatever we've got going on. They almost see kids as like an inconvenience sometimes. Like, we got to go to the grocery store. Well, I'm going to leave the kids here with mom because I got to go to the grocery store, and I don't want them like picking up items and throwing syrup on the floor and like just getting like causing a mess. And as kids do, you know, sometimes we're just like, just stay home with mom. I'm going to go to the store, or stay home with mom. I'm going to go to the gym. But sometimes just bringing your kids with you, even though it does slow down the process, they get to learn, they get to see what it's like to go to the gym. If they never see you at the gym, if they never see you reading your Bible, if they never see you going to the store and talking to a cashier and like the human interaction and everything, then they don't learn that stuff. So do you see bringing your kids with you as a benefit? Do you see that, like, whether it's the gym or whether it's just life in general, how do you think that shapes and kind of forms their brain?
Andrew, I think letting your kids watch you struggle, figuring out a difficult conversation with your wife is all necessary.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. There was times that I would not want to bring my son to these places. So I'm like, you are an inconvenience. Like, don't fucking speak to me. This is my time. Like, how dare you? And now my daughter will sometimes she'll sit in the living room while I do burpees. My son, I would always have him intentionally be in the room watching me track my food.
That's good.
Yeah, they're gonna ask you, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? It's just like when we say things are in the house, like they are mirroring you. You know, so I think bringing them everywhere. It was your choice to have a child. It was your choice to create a child. And if you're like, oh, actually, I didn't want to have a child, well, it's still your choice to have fucking intercourse. Okay, so you know exactly what it is that you're doing.
Yeah,
now you need to be the example and you need to lead.
Yeah.
So you bring your kids everywhere that you go. Now, obviously, if you got business meetings, you got shit that you got to do, completely understand that. But I think the more pressure that we have as dads, I think the more pressure that we have on, I like pressure. Honestly, I love stress because I'm just like, okay, how the fuck can I know I'm the universe and I'm being tested at that very moment. I'm like, okay, here's how I can see what I'm made of.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many guys, so many dads, you motherfuckers run away from stress. Fucking dive into that shit.
Yeah.
That's how you really find out what it is that you're made of, you know?
Come on.
Yeah. Our life is filled full of problems. You don't learn shit on happy days. You only learn shit from your problems.
Yeah.
You only learn shit from contraction phases.
It's an interesting time to be alive too, man. I was talking to my father yesterday. I have like the world's coolest dad. We were at lunch and I was talking to him and I was like, man, like if I had a whiteboard here and I drew a line like of all of human history up until about like the last like little inch of that line, people have been fighting for survival. Like there's like it's been a constant game of calories. Like I gotta get enough calories. Where's my next meal coming from? Food. And like now all of a sudden, like if it's a little too warm in here, I can turn the temperature down like 1 degree. There's carpet everywhere. My feet don't ever have to touch the grass if I don't want them to. I could pull up to any gas station to fill up my car that can take me anywhere I want, and I have about 200,000 calories at my disposal for the cheapest cost in human history ever. Like the amount of ease of the world. You have to manufacture things to be difficult. Like we actually have like try to imagine like my great grandma's still alive. She's like 102 I think right now, right? She's like super old. Yeah.
Are you serious?
She's awesome. Dude, she's a badass. Yeah, my great grandma's amazing. She still has her own garden and like drives like 70-year-olds around because they're not willing to drive anymore. Yeah, she's awesome. She's super cool. Yeah. But you talk to her, like try describing to her when she was growing up the idea of a treadmill. Like, why do you need a treadmill? Oh, because I have to walk more. Why do you have to walk more? Don't you walk like, no, I don't walk anywhere. Like that idea, like going to the gym. I saw a video of you cold plunging, the other day. The desert plunge. Shout out to those guys there in Phoenix. And you're doing this like artificial thing to stimulate difficulty and suffering. Because our world is so comfy, you have to actually artificially create that. But because of that hardness, your life is much more pleasurable. If you lift weights and do hard things and your hands are hard and you can get your hands dirty, then your life's going to be better. If you can get your feet in some grass, your life is going to be better. If you can do the things you don't want to do when you don't want to do them, your life is going to be better. Talk about leaning into that suffering. Talk about why would you get into a bucket of cold water as a trait? Like, why would you do something like that? Why would you go lift heavy weights? Like lean into that suffering. Talk about that for a second.
I just love pain. I love pain because I love the feeling that it gives me after. And And I have learned, and I think a lot of us have learned in our lives, we have seen that money will make us happy. We've seen that cars, houses, clothes, and everything will make us happy. When I just bought a new car, like, I don't know, 3 months ago, I was over that shit in like 2 days. I'm like, okay, fuck. And you want to know what I thought about? God damn it. When am I going to make my first payment? You know,
Yep.
Here's the thing. I apply pain to my life every day, AKA getting up as early as fuck, getting up at 2:45, 3. That's painful,
Yes.
but holy shit. The fact that when 8 a.m. rolls around and I've gotten so much shit done for myself, I'm like, all right, this is
So good.
Getting into a cold plunge, getting into 40-degree water. Getting into 40-degree water is pure anxiety.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. But I tell people, and all my clients did it yesterday. I had majority of my clients, I had some clients do it for 6 minutes yesterday, which was cool. It was so cool. Yeah. But if you can insert yourself into a painful, like getting out of this comfort, weak ass box and apply yourself into pain, you're going to know exactly how to manage problems, just like what I talked about. So I describe cold plunging as being able to manage your life, being able to manage like when a stressful situation comes. Do I always like going to the gym? Fuck no. I don't always like going to the gym and lifting weights, but the moment that I leave there, I have this high, I have this euphoria feeling. I'm just like, sweet. Yep. So I create that every single day, and I just create highs all day long, getting up early, getting in cold water, going to the gym, diving in more to when problems arise. I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to go head first into this right now, because at the end, I'm just like, I feel this. It's just all about filling your glass up all day long. And by pouring into ourselves, especially with painful situations and not running away from, I know exactly how I can handle these things. So if a painful situation arises for my son or for my wife or for anyone in my family, I can be there and be like, hey, do this or do that. But they can also manage it in their life so that they don't just keep running from their problems. There's too many people that run away from their problems. You need to run into your problems.
Come on.
That's
I love that.
Good. That's so good. So you become like a mentor, not only to your kids, but also to your clients and to 85,000 people on social media and so many more people out there. Who has been kind of your mentor, whether it's fitness or like your father or father figure? Who has been your mentor, that person you look up to?
There's been a couple people in my life. I just got done just doing a 3-month program with Wes Watson. You guys might know who Wes is. So I worked with Wes for 3 months, and Wes is honestly an incredible human being. Wes is in prison for 10 years. And so he's created this lifestyle for himself. That's honestly, it's the same thing every single day. And I'm like, man, that shit looks boring, but I need to be taught by this man, and Wes isn't for a lot of people, but he was for me. And I was just in his business program. I wasn't in I was in his elite level business program. So I wasn't like one-on-one, but I am a sponge and I don't ask a lot of questions unless I have to. So just learning the things that I needed to from him has taught me a lot. I didn't, my mom might listen to this. Mom, I love you, but I didn't have a lot of great father figures in my life. I had two stepdads. They were there when I was there, but everything after that, they haven't really been there for me. I don't really hear from them that much, and it's kind of unfortunate. And then I have my dad, and he is involved in my life, but it's very surface level. It's when he comes to Arizona. So I didn't really have a dad figure to look up to. And honestly, when growing up, I was very needy. I was very I was a beta for a long time. I've been divorced twice. It's because I was so fucking needy all the time. And I didn't want to get married again. I've been married 3 fucking times. I didn't want to get married after I got divorced the second time. I'm like, no, this isn't, it's their fault. And when I've been able to uncover over the last 4, 5, 6 years that I was the fucking problem. I never dated my wife. I never I was always angry. I always blamed them. I didn't take responsibility for shit. Anyways, I'm kind of getting off topic here. So worked with Wes. for 3 months now, and I'm going to be working with this man for a long time, is I work with Garrett J. White from Wake Up Warrior.
Okay.
I love Garrett's story. I was in Wake Up Warrior a couple years ago, 2019, and I love that experience. So now I'm just working with Garrett, and honestly, he's helping me build out some things in my business even more. But not only that, is that he's just creating a different man inside of me. It's
awesome.
it's essentially, I've got the clay back on the pottery wheel, and I'm remolding myself into something. And I encourage, honestly, I think every man should have a mentor in his life.
And for sure.
And it's not like, you're going to go in phases of having mentors. You're going to have a mentor, and, they're going to show you everything that they need to show you. And you might have another one. That's okay. But here's the thing. Don't fucking hire a mentor, or don't hire a man. They give you this blueprint on how to become a better man, or, increase your revenue, or become a better dad. And then you mentor hop from people to people to people, and not do the shit that they're saying. At least take things from those mentors and do them and apply them to your life. So
that's right.
That's who I've really learned from. And these men have had a huge impact on my life. Like a huge impact.
Love it.
I love that. It's so good. So if we got a lot of men watching right now, lots of strong alpha men out there right now. And other than just your beard and your golf game, I know some of them would like to hear about how to get fit and how to have those epic conversations with you. The ones where you're leaning in and letting them know, like, this is what needs to happen. Because I think a lot of us need that. Everyone needs that. At some point, you need someone that can sit you down and be like, hey, your excuses are silly. You had a video recently. I don't remember how recently it was, but you were talking about tracking macros, and the person's like, I just don't have time. I'm really busy. I went from here to here to here, and all this stuff. And you're like, all right, that's it. And you started a timer on your phone, and you're like, I'm going to track all my macros from today because I've not done it yet today. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do it right now. We're going to see how long this actually takes. It was 58 seconds of time for you to do it. I was like, that was awesome. You just eliminated the excuse, because at the end of the day, all excuses are the same, and it's just hiding. You're just throwing smoke screens up to not have to deal with the fact that you didn't get something done, and I love that about you. What is the easiest way though for people to on ramp into your world if they want to get to know you, if they want to get coached by you, if they want to choose you as their physical mentor? What's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah. So honestly, just reach out to me on Instagram. Like, shoot me a DM. Just see what's up. Be real. Be social. Like, holy shit, there's so many people that have social media and they don't fucking like things. They don't interact with things. Like, be social. Like, I want to connect with you. This is what I like to do with my clients. It's like, I want to get to know you. I want to know what you're not good at. Yeah. I want to know how you can be the man that you've always dreamed of. You have this like vision board in your head of the man that you want, but you're not willing to open up about the fucking problems that you're going through, or the shit that you're not good at. So just reach out to me on Instagram, or fill out, you can fill out my type form. I have it there. If you're afraid to reach out and you don't want to have a conversation just yet, you can just make things a lot more difficult, and we can just have a conversation over Zoom, which is great. I've had that happen before, but just reach out to me on Instagram and just be real.
I'd say minimum, everyone listening, go to Instagram, pull up the app on your phone, go to Jeff Davis Fit. I'm sure there's a Jeff Davis Fat. You chose Jeff Davis Fit, which is great.
That's right, you did.
go find Jeff Davis Fit and track him down. But bare minimum, give him a follow and literally follow. Don't just hit the follow button, but like go through and like watch this guy's story. He's got some amazing stuff on here. Really, really great information, amazing motivation, great little tidbits. Your writing is incredible. Like, it's not just what's in the video. Like, a lot of times the video, you got like caption. Yeah, you got like a good music or something behind it, and you're doing burpees or something, which is very fun. But then the writing, I'm like, oh, that was written so well. That was written, that was. I learned a lot just from reading your captions there. So go give him a follow, and if you want to, be coached by him, give him a message and type in the type form and just get involved in his world, because I think anybody that's around you is going to be a better person for having done so.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, like just talking with you and Andrew, and thank you. And I hope that everyone listening to this, like, this is just like hiring a mentor. Like, you listen to a podcast, go take one thing that I said today and just go do it and apply it into your life. instead of just this being the 5th podcast that you listen to today and you're about to listen to your 6th, like just don't listen to any more. Listen to this one and apply something into your life today.
Take action. I love it. So good. Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate it.
8 years ago, we developed and launched the best bed sheets ever. Since then, you've all enjoyed the best sleep of your life. And to thank you all for your support, we're bringing you our bed sheets for the lowest price in MyPillow history. Get our seasonal flannel sheets for 50% off. They're nearly sold out, so get yours today before they're gone. Check out our new Percale line. Queen size only $39.98. King size only $49.98. And our famous Giza Dream bed sheets, queen size originally $139.96. Wait on it. Now only $59.98. King's just $10 more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get huge discounts on all MyPillow bed sheets. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free. We have very low quantities at these prices, so order now.
Yes, that was an incredible interview that we just had with Jeff. Colton, did you enjoy that? Did you have a good time?
I had a great time, man. I could have talked to him for like another hour. Literally, actually, I have like 7 more questions I was excited to get to, and I was like, no, we've run out of time again.
It was so good. I had so much fun. He had a lot of good insights, a lot of good takes on things and everything. So, but now I am so excited because it is our favorite time of the show. It's time for the reacts.
Let's see what you got.
Beer brewed here, it is used to make the brew beer in this refinery. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lake.
But Biden, and if you couldn't tell, that was our president at a beer factory.
Whoa, that hurts. That hurts to say.
It's painful.
That's
it's painful.
Our president. Oh man, I mean, I think he had some good stuff there. Honestly, I think he had. I don't know what his point was, but he seemed to be passionately trying to get it across, whatever he was trying to say.
Let me read the transcription here. In beer brew here, ish used to make the beer brew here. Ish we're finding Earth Rider. Thanks for the Great Lakes.
Okay,
that's going down in the Constitution, the epic speech. We should put some fight music behind it or something. That's
Chariots
Biden.
of Fire. That's right.
Someone's joking because he gave that speech at a beer factory, and they're like, he had too much. Cut him off before he gets that far.
Biden had a couple too many beers on that one there.
The problem is that's how he talks all the time. He gives the State of the Union address. That's how he sounds. Oh boy.
Yeah, too many beers.
Is Biden alpha or is he not alpha, Andrew? In your opinion?
Oh man, is Biden an alpha? Well, for multiple reasons outside of this, no, he's not an alpha. But I talked to somebody who was there at the State of the Union, and he's like, Biden was compared to like if you went to a nursing home, like just a nursing home with a lot of like just really, really, really old people, and you went and you looked and you found the oldest and most frail person at the nursing home, pick that person. Biden was worse than that. That's how he described Biden, the president of the United States of America currently, somehow, some way. Absolutely not. Absolutely, he's not an alpha.
Well, that one came to us from our good friend Devin Woolery. Thank you for the. Shout out to Devin. Thanks for the amazing reel to react to. All right, next one.
Show me a 6-year-old that loses this weekend in a baseball game and starts crying, and I'll show you a winner. And every parent that goes up to that kid and says, it doesn't matter, it's just a game, should be punched in the face. Figuratively. Entrepreneurship is losing constantly with an occasional win. And I think the biggest reason that we will struggle with entrepreneurship in the next generation is back to grit. We have demonized losing. The reason I stick on 8th place trophies is we are teaching kids that losing is bad.
So good. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, and I completely agree with him. I think winning is almost demonized. Like everyone is a winner in today's world, in today's culture and everything. But I like what he said. It's kind of like the flip side of it. I've never really thought about that, where it's good to be upset when you lose. Yeah. You know, you typically you're like, hey, it's okay. You're okay, kid. It's like, no, you lost. We got to get better. Come on. We got to encourage and build up and everything. But there's too much of that in today's culture, and it's building beta males when we give everybody a trophy and there's no punishment for loss, and there's no downside of a loss, and there's no celebration when there's a loss. There shouldn't be a celebration. We lost. We gotta figure it out and figure out how we can win the next time. But if you celebrate every time you lose, then all of a sudden winning has no reward. There's nothing to it.
I think the human mind can be rewired to think and believe almost anything. I think you can rewire your brain, and like Jeff was talking about, like how he finds pleasure in the pain. Like when pain happens, he's like, oh, I love it. Like he's rewired his brain. Very opposite from normal culture, and I think that's why his body looks the way it is. I think that's why his business looks like the way it is. I think he's rewired his brain to create success. I'm reminded of a quote from one of my favorite cartoons as a kid, The Incredibles. The family, the super family, and the villain at one point says he's going to make being a superhero for everybody. He's going to make technology so everybody can be super, and when everyone's super, no one will be. And I think there's this idea of when we have all these kids that are getting rewards, and because everyone's getting rewarded, nobody is. Because everyone's winning, nobody is. I think you need that failure, and I think you need to teach your kids how to handle a loss. What's that look like? Like how do you like feel the pain of that and like weight of it, and not pass it off and be like, yeah, that sucked. We were not prepared. We were not ready. My dad was my coach my 6th grade year on the football team. And we were the B team. So there was an A team and a B team, and we were like all the rejects basically. And my dad's like, I'm going to coach that team. I want to coach the reject team. And at 12 years old, like nobody's like, like preparing for D1 conferences or anything, right? They're all, we're all just a bunch of 12-year-olds. So like right. Even the worst 12-year-old is going to be pretty marginally worse than the best 12-year-old. But at the same time, these were all like the ones that people didn't want. They were afraid of contact. They were afraid of getting hit. They were afraid of, it was like that group of people. And we lost our first game pretty dramatically. The Smyrna Bears, they beat us.
You remember, it's big. Oh, yeah. That's a core memory.
Oh, it's core. It's core. It's lit up in my memory box here. And I remember we lost to these guys, and my dad's like, that's not going to happen again. We had this great speech afterwards, and he gave us each this binder. It was full of quotes, but then also like plays. And we were like the most well-practiced team. Like my dad's practices were like a Clay Clark meeting or something. I mean, just like perfectly agended out. This is what we're doing. This is next. This is next. This is next. And then we actually went undefeated the rest of the season in the championship game. Play the Smyrna Bears, and we won. We beat the Smyrna Bears.
Hey, take that, Smyrna Bears!
And if we would have
nothing on these guys,
and if we wouldn't have lost that first game, there wouldn't have been the pain that would have allowed us to commit to the second game being better, and the third game being better, and the fourth game being better.
Did you make it to the A team?
Oh, we just stayed the B team, but the B team was the A team. We were way better than the A team by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we won the national championship. The B team, the A team didn't even know what hit them. So we were.
That's right.
We were the better team for sure. We were the national state champs of our league that year. So pretty fun.
That takes the pain. Takes the pain to get the gain.
It does. All right, number 3.
If you have something bad happen, you can think, I will subscribe to the traumatic experience that my counselor has told me that I have gone through, and they've labeled this thing, and then I just get to keep this problem with me forever. Whenever I go into a new relationship, say, I was traumatized earlier, like I have a hard time trusting people because of this reason that I'm making up right now. Okay, cool. Or something happened. Okay, moving on. It just doesn't matter.
What are your thoughts on that, Andrew? That's pretty counter what we heard a lot today.
It is really counter, and I think that a lot of people define their future based on the events of their past, and they get held back and they get stuck because they're stuck in the past. They can't move on. Like I know people who literally just can't move on because they had a car wreck. They didn't get injured. Nobody died. They just got in a wreck, and they're just like, they bring it up all the time. And if you do that, then you never get to experience what the future has, like in store for you. But I do think that he said, just move on. But I think you should move on, but I think you really need to learn from it. So maybe something bad did happen to you, and maybe it was terrible. I wouldn't say just maybe move on, but like take it, learn from it, maybe marinate on it for maybe a few days, a couple weeks, maybe if it's required. Learn something, like get something positive out of it. Like if something happened to you, like take something from it, like get a benefit from it. But then yes, move on and keep moving forward. So, but I love what he said there, Alex Hormozi.
I've had several mentors in my life, and every single one of them have said the exact same thing about therapy. And that is never do it. It's never a good idea to go to therapy because they hyper focus on the things that have happened and not how to get past them. And I think you're a business coach, and I've heard you several times, like a client's like, oh, I didn't do this today, and you're like, Well, great. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do those activities. Like this is what needs to happen. Like you didn't
get into it.
You didn't write your 1,000 words of content. Guess what we're doing over the next 10 minutes here? We're gonna write you have to get it done. You have to move past it. You can't be defined by the past. You gotta move past it, and don't go to therapy.
I think there's a difference. Some people might be like, oh, well, you shouldn't ask someone for advice. No, there's a difference between a mentor or a consultant or a coach or somebody than a therapist. There's a complete difference. Like you had brought up a second ago, like one wants to focus on the emotional and the negative and the problems, and the other one is focused on solving the problem, moving forward. How do we get out of this? How do we get ahead? How do we keep moving forward? How do we avoid, like a mentor, how do we avoid these traps, these downfalls, these pitfalls in the future, and make less mistakes and learn from the mentors? There's a huge difference.
The amount of Gen Z and millennials that know every single problem that's wrong with them, they're like, I have anxiety and I have this and I have this and I have this, and that's the reason I can't do this. Yeah. And they're just building up their excuses for why they can't go do something. And I think it's much better to not know if you're probably I think there's definitely some things I'd be diagnosed with if I went to some kind of health professional. But at the end of the day, I have a very productive life. I have a very great life, and I have been able to accomplish a lot. And I think that's a huge thing, is just continuing forward, getting the action steps done. Another thing Hormozy talks about a lot is like people have these morning routines, and they're like 6 hours long, and they got the gratitude journal and all this stuff. And I'm not knocking, whatever works for you, get it done. But at the end of the day, he talks about the amount of time between when you wake up and when you can actually get the activities done for the day that need to get done, work-wise, or if it's working out, then get to it. Don't have a 6-hour red light routine and I got to sit in front of this thing and hot sun and the cold.
Yeah, it's about effectiveness, not time in the if you get the results in 5 minutes and it's wholesome and good and there's nothing wrong with it, and you're not it's not like a microwave, but you still get all the quality and the nutrients and every nutrients in it, then do it. If you can get it done in 5 minutes, don't take 3 hours to get it done. If you can get a workout done in 30 minutes, then get the workout done in 30 minutes. Just get it done.
And speaking of 5 minutes, it would take you significantly less than that to go to the Alpha Dad Show on Instagram and on YouTube. Please, if you're watching this show, wherever you're watching it, please go to the Alpha Dad Show on Instagram and give us a follow on there and watch some of the content, man. We're putting out our best stuff. We're taking our heart and we're and grind it up and then just spoon feeding it out there. The best stuff that we got from our brains, from our hearts, trying to give it to you guys every single day. And go to our YouTube. This is a show that we were putting on YouTube. I was telling Andrew, it's weird for me because I've been the Rumble crowd. We have a conservative show where we were smacked out of the YouTube world. They punched us in the face. We've had a hard time coming back on it. But a lot of people go figure or watch content on YouTube. So that's the place to go go to YouTube. And guys, this show is brought to you by mypillow.com. If you go to mypillow.com, use promo code FLYOVER or use promo code DAD. Promo code DAD.
Promo code DAD.
Let me do that one more time. This show is brought to you by mypillow.com. Use promo code DAD, D-A-D, spelled the same both ways. We got Mother's Day still coming up. Get it out. Go get your mom some Mother's Day stuff, some new sheets. Father's Day's coming up around the corner.
Mike is an alpha.
Mike is that mustache. You can't have a mustache like that without being an alpha.
That's right.
What's your favorite product on the MyPillow site, Mr. Andrew?
Oh, my favorite product is probably the slippers. I'm a huge fan of the slippers, or just the pillow themselves. I like the cooling pillow.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of the cooling.
I got that old MyPillow 2.0. It feels amazing. If nothing else, it's like 2.0.
Look at those. You get the army green slippers. That's what you need.
They got this bottom on them. A lot of slippers, you can't actually wear them out. Like I wouldn't wear them to Target or something. But like if I'm gonna go check the mail, a lot of slippers, it's oh man, they're gonna get wet.
Yeah.
These guys are all weather moccasin. They're really nice. You can go out there
anywhere.
You can go make a fire in your chimenea, with these things on.
That's right.
And you're going to be all set. So yeah, go to mypillow.com. You get huge discounts when you use promo code DAD, D-A-D. So make sure you hit that up. And that would also take you less than 5 minutes to go get your mom something awesome for Mother's Day. Start preparing.
Don't forget about your mom.
Don't forget about your mom. Get your mom something awesome using promo code DAD. How fitting. And guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We appreciate every single one of the follows. We appreciate every single one of your comments, interactions. We love your messages on Instagram. Keep sending us some amazing reels you want us to react to. And we will see you next week on The Alpha Dad Show.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know you can get our 6-piece My Towels, regular $69.98, now only $29.98. Or you can save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels, made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Also, we have bath sheets, bath towels, washcloths, hand towels, and so much more. And the best part, with your promo code, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all My Towels. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.